Let's start about 8051 timers counters. Timers and counters are the peripherals which is present inside the 8051 microcontroller. It is not only in 8051 microcontroller, it can be in any of the controllers. Coming to this peripheral. These timers and counter peripherals are mainly used for time-based applications. Let's see what are the timers and how the timers are used in the case of 8051 microcontroller. Here, let's see how the timers are going to work. Timers are going to work as a normal clock. If we take a normal clock, how it is going to give a time? It is going to give a time which is counting in terms of seconds, like 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. Coming to our microcontroller, in microcontroller we have one of the peripheral called as timer, and the timer is going to count the clock pulses. But here, how it is going to start the counting process? What is the gap between the count to count? That all will depend upon the crystal oscillator what you are connecting. In microcontroller, even there is an on-chip clock oscillator. The frequency of that on-chip clock oscillator is 11.0592 MHz. So in microcontroller, the oscillator frequency ranges can be from 4 MHz to 40 MHz. Coming to the 8051. 8051 has two 16-bit timer counters, that is timer counter 0 and timer counter 1. Basically, timer peripheral contains some registers, and those registers we call it as a timer register. As it is a register, to perform any operation on the register has to receive the clock signal as an input. So let's see how the timers are going to work. We can use this particular peripheral as a timer, and even we can use that particular peripheral as a counter. But whenever using this particular peripheral as a timer, the timer registers has to get the input from the crystal oscillator through some circuit. Like we will see what is that circuit, everything clearly in the next coming slides. So here, if you are using that particular peripheral as a timer, what it is going to do, it is going to generate the time delay. In order to generate this time delay, this timer register has to get the input from the crystal oscillator. So we can generate the time delays with the help of the timers. Coming to the counters, even we can use this particular peripheral as a counter. Okay, whenever we are using this particular peripheral as a counter, it is going to count the number of events which are happening outside the controller. And the counter, in order to count the number of events which are happening outside the controller, even that register has to get the input. That register is going to get the input from the external hardware pins, that is T0 and T1 respectively. See, if you see here, we have port 3 pin. We already seen in the pin diagram like port 3 pin supports I/O, and even it supports some special functions like interrupts, timers, etc. So if you see here, P3.4 pin is related to timer 0, P3.5 pin is related to timer 1. Means whenever we are using that particular peripheral as a counter, we already seen that particular peripheral, this timer peripheral, we can use it as a timer or we can use it as a counter. Like whenever we are using it as a counter, this particular counter register has to get the input. That input it is coming from this T0 and T1 pins respectively. Once it gets the input from these pins, then only the counter register is going to count the events which are happening outside the controller. But whenever we are using this particular peripheral as timer, means the timer is going to receive the input from the on-chip clock oscillator. Once it receives the input, then only it is going to generate the time delays. Coming to the next one, 8051 has two 16-bit timer registers, that is timer 0 and timer 1. If you see this particular diagram, this is the timer 0 which is of 16-bit register and the timer 1 which is of 16-bit register. If you see the timer 0 here, we know that 8051 microcontroller is an 8-bit microcontroller. As it is an 8-bit microcontroller, it cannot access 16-bit data directly. So that particular registers has been divided into two 8-bit registers. Now if you see here, D0 to D7 is given for the TL0, D8 to D15 is given for the TH0. TL0 stands for lower byte of timer 0, TH0 stands for higher byte of timer 0. Even timer 1 is also a 16-bit register. As the microcontroller is an 8-bit microcontroller, it cannot access all the 16-bit registers. So that is the reason that register, again it has been divided into two parts, where we can see here that is D0 to D7 is given for TL1, D8 to D15 is given for the TH1. TL1 stands for lower byte of timer 1, TH1 stands for higher byte of timer 1. Now if you see here, these two timers, this two timers means timer 0 and timer 1, that is TL0, TH0, TL1 and TH1 exist in the SFR RAM area. We already seen special function registers, so all these 4 registers will be coming under SFRs with some address locations. If you see here TL0 register, TL0 register direct address location in SFR RAM area is 8AH. TH0 register address location in SFR RAM area is 8CH. Similarly, TL1 register direct address location in SFR RAM area is 8BH. TH1 register address location in SFR RAM area is 8DH. So all these 4 registers exist in the SFR RAM area with some address locations. Now we said that we can use this particular peripheral as a timer, and even we can use this particular peripheral as a counter. But whenever we are using it as a timer, the timer has to count the clock pulses. So when it is doing the counting, once it gets the input, then only the timer counts the clock pulses. So here 1 machine cycle equal to 12 clock pulses, means for every 12 clock pulses, the timer count value increments by 1. So if you see the count frequency equal to 12 by clock frequency. We know that the internal clock frequency is 11.0592. So once you divide 12 by 11.0592 megahertz, you get 1.0852 microseconds. Coming to the peripheral now, whenever we are using this particular peripheral as a counter, means the counter, what it has to do, it has to count the external events. So in order to do that, it has to get the input from which pins? T0 and T1 pins, that is P3.2 and P3.3 pins, where we have seen the pin diagram. Once it gets the input from these pins, then only the counter is going to count the clock pulses. So if you see here, timer 0 is going to receive the clock signal from T0 pin. Timer 1 is going to receive the input from the clock signal T1 pin. Once it gets the inputs, what the counter is going to do? The counter is going to count the external events which are happening outside the controller. Now let's talk about the registers which are used in timer counters. So to control the operation of timer counters, we have 2 registers, that is TMOD register and TCON register. Even these registers exist in the SFR RAM area with some direct address locations. Coming to the TMOD register. TMOD stands for timer mode register, and this register is used for selecting the mode for the operation of the timer. Like it is an 8-bit register, and it is used by timer 0 as well as it is used by timer 1. But it is not a bit addressable register. When I say it is not a bit addressable register, we cannot write the programming for the individual bits. We have to write the programming for the complete whole byte. Now if you see here, let us say it is an 8-bit register. Now you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first 4 bits, that is higher nibble of TMOD register, this I call it as a nibble. The lowest 4 bits I call it as one nibble, and the highest 4 bits I call it as the other nibble. So the highest nibble of the TMOD register is related to timer 1, and the lowest nibble of TMOD register is related to timer 0. So all the higher nibble bits are same like lower nibble bits. Now if you are programming these 4 bits, that is 7, 6, 5, 4, or the higher nibble bits of TMOD register, that will be getting affected by timer 1. If you are programming the lowest 4 bits, that is 3, 2, 1, 0, or the lowest nibble of TMOD register, then that will be getting affected to the timer 0. Now let's see the functionality of each and every bit. Let us go with the gate bit. Gate bit is used to activate the timer counter or deactivate the timer counter with the help of hardware and with the help of software. If you see that the gate bit is programmed to 0, means we can control the operation of the timer with the help of software. If the gate bit is programmed to 1, means we can control the operation of the timer with the help of hardware. Coming to the next bit, C by T by bar bit. If this particular bit is programmed to 0, means we are using that particular peripheral as a timer. I say 0 means 0 bar, that is nothing but 1. So the timer is going to get activated. If we are programming this particular peripheral to 1, means then we can use this particular peripheral as a counter. So here we can use that particular register as a timer or the counter by programming this particular bit. If we are programming this particular bit to 0, means we are using that particular peripheral as a timer. And in order to generate the time delays, what the timer has to get? The timer has to get the input from the crystal oscillator. So in order to, whenever we are using this particular peripheral as a counter, means whenever we are using it as a counter, in order to count the events, the counter has to get the input from which pins? From T0 and T1 pins respectively. This is about the gate bit. Like we can control the operation of the timer with the help of gate bit, like by programming to 0 and by programming to 1. If you are giving it as a 0, with the help of software instructions we are controlling the operation of the timer. If you are giving the gate bit as 1, means we are controlling the operation of the timer with the help of hardware. Means hardware in the sense it is generating some interrupt signals through T0 and T1 pins. Once it do something from that particular external hardware sources, then only the timer starts working. Coming to the C by T bar bit, if I can use this particular peripheral as a timer or counter. If I am using it as a timer, means this particular bit should be programmed to 0. If I want to use this particular peripheral as a counter, means we need to program this particular bit to 1. As we program this particular bit to 1, means we are using that particular peripheral as a counter. Coming to the next two bits, M1 and M0 bits, it is used to control the different modes of timer counter operations, and totally we have 4 modes in 8051. That is mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. If you are programming these 2 bits to 0, 0 means we can operate the timer counter peripheral in mode 0. We call that mode 0 as 13-bit timer mode. As I say 13-bit timer mode, all the 8 bits of THX register are used, and the lowest bits from TLX we use only 5 bits. Here X stands from, it can be for timer 0 or it can be from timer 1. TL stands for lower byte of timer register, TH stands for higher byte of timer register. Similarly, if you are programming these 2 bits to 0, 1 means we can operate in mode 1, where mode 1 is called as 16-bit timer mode. In 16-bit timer mode, in the higher bytes we can use all the 8 bits, in the lower bytes we can use all the 8 bits. Whenever we are programming these 2 bits to 1, 0, then we can operate in mode 2. Mode 2 is called as 8-bit auto reload mode. In 8-bit auto reload mode, we have TH where it is going to load a value which is getting reloaded with a value which is present in TLX register when the overflow occurs. And coming to the last one, if you are programming these 2 bits to 1, 1 means it is going to operate in mode 3, which is called as split timer mode, and later on we will be discussing each and every mode clearly. Thank you.